Hello and welcome to another episode of So What Do You Actually Do? In today's episode, I got the chance to interview James. James works as a senior customer relationship manager, also known as a CRM for health e-commerce. Before we dwell into what James does or who he works for, it is important to understand how health savings accounts work. So for instance, when you get a full-time job, your employer would give you a benefits plan. As part of your benefits plan, you get to elect a type of health savings account that suits your needs. This account allows you to set aside pre-tax money to pay for qualified medical expenses. The goal here is to lower your out-of-pocket healthcare costs. It is also important to note that there is more than one type of healthcare account. Mainly there are three: the HSA Health Savings Account, the FSA, the Flexible Savings Account, and the HRA, Health Reimbursement Arrangement. So now back to James. He works for health e-commerce, which is basically an online commerce or online shopping website, which allows you to pay for qualified medical products that are approved by the health savings account. Generally, when people think of health savings accounts, they limit it to paying for the copays or hospital visits. But James explains how it can be spent on much more. As a senior CRM, James specializes in email marketing. He's responsible for understanding his employer's customers, current and future, in order to curate personalized emails that meet their needs. And without further ado, let's jump straight into the interview. So HSA really affects a lot of people's lives, whether they know it or not. A lot of people elect for it. Sometimes they don't even know what they're electing for. So I'm pretty sure people don't even realize how much that affects them or how much it's part of their life in one way or another. So the current company that you work for, what is it called and what are they? Is it purely HSA that they are providing, or what other services do they normally provide?
Yeah, great question. So the company I work for is called Health E-commerce, and they are the parent brand to a couple e-commerce online stores. The two biggest ones being FSA Store and HSAstore.com. I primarily work on the HSAstore.com brand. And so both of those sites sell HSA and FSA qualified items. The items themselves are pretty similar. The eligibility requirements are pretty similar for FSA and HSA. So it's mostly just different brands. And so we're selling, most people think of HSAs as something you pay with when you go to the doctor, right? Or when you have to go to the dentist. But in reality, the box in which you can use your HSA is a whole lot bigger. And so there's a lot of items out there like crutches, for instance, or wheelchairs, or an Aura ring. Lots of items that are there to help you boost your health, but maybe not are thought of by the average person. And so what we do is we help open people's minds to all the ways that they can use those pre-tax dollars, probably on things they maybe are buying anyway, and get the benefit of tax savings for them.
Perfect. So the crux of the channel, James, what do you actually do as a senior manager in CRM?
Yeah. So what do I actually do? So the things that I focus on are primarily email marketing, SMS, which is text. Those are the two big things that I work on. Primarily email, because that takes more time to set up, and so that takes more of my day. So when we talked about the different channels, there's FSA Store and then there's HSA Store. I'm on the HSA Store side, and so a big part of what I do is making sure that the emails that are sent out aren't just a copy, right, of an FSA email, but they have some information that's specific to HSA account holders. One of the things we know in the HSA and FSA industry, the whole pre-tax spending industry, is that people don't understand HSAs. They get them confused. They think they're FSAs. They, don't know what to do with them. They don't, they think they have to use their money at the end of the year, which is not true with an HSA. And so we also know that HSA account holders think about those accounts differently than an FSA account holder. And the reason for that is simple, right? Because an FSA, you have to use your money and then it's gone. An HSA, you actually have the ability, if you choose to keep your funds year over year, to save them, to invest them even. And so there's much more of a relational mindset. It's not simply I have $1,000. I got to use it in the next few months. Let me go buy a bunch of stuff so my money doesn't get forfeited. There's an intentionality with that, and also the opportunity for a deeper relationship. And so a big part of what I do is in the email marketing space, because of course we're sending emails to FSA customers as well, looking for ways that we can differentiate and better target our HSA account holders specifically, from our general FSA emails.
Got it. Oh, so when you're contacting HSA customers, for instance, are you targeting each customer at a time, or is it more tailored for the whole pool of HSA and keeping up with them?
Yeah, another great question. So, and the answer is both again. So there's different streams where one we might call broadcast, and that's more of a general email that goes out to a wider base, or maybe it's to a large segment within that base. And then there's much more targeted emails that are often behavioral driven. So you could think of those similar to other emails you probably get on e-commerce platforms. If you put something in your cart, and then you leave, then we're going to make sure that we remind you. Or if you are looking at a product and you're looking at it in your browser, but you don't put it in your cart, you'll get a different email from us. Or if you sign up and haven't purchased, sending those type of welcome triggered emails. So there is both. There are the larger, the larger emails that go out to larger segments, and then the more specific ones that are based on specific actions or personalized based on, what we've seen your activity on our site.
Got it. Where is the guidance normally coming your way from upstream? Is it from different company, I guess, directors, or is it you identify the needs and then you react quickly to the needs in the market with the customers, hence the need for the communication?
Yeah. So it comes in a few different ways, right? So we also have a merch team for merchandising. So they can give us, and they have reports that give us good feedback onto what categories on the site are doing well, maybe slipping a little bit. That's really useful for us because that helps us understand, what type of products we might focus on in an email.
What would you say are the most important skills to be successful in this career?
Yeah. So I'm gonna put it in a couple different buckets, meaning hard skills, I would say, and then soft skills. So from a hard skill perspective, it's good to write well. Even if you don't do the writing, you'll want to understand what compelling language is and what it isn't. That's important. I think you would also want to design eye. Again, you don't have to do the design, but you want to be able to look at an email and say, this one feels good, this one feels too text heavy, this one feels too long, too repetitive, and be able to provide good feedback to a creative team, even if you're not the one developing the email. I think those two skills are important. I think also curiosity. I guess I'm getting more into the soft skills side. Curiosity is important because you're going to be doing a lot of work over and over, and it's easy to get into a mindset of, I do this because it's the way it's been done. And so to be able to be curious and to say, why are we doing it this way? Or what if we did it a different way? And not being afraid to, I'll say this, not being afraid to share your opinion, and also becoming really good friends with the data and making sure that if you have a position that you can back it up with some data. Because I think, in most companies, people, if they can see you've thought through the data, even if they don't agree with your conclusion, they'll agree with your reasoning. And so having that data is a really good way to build consensus and to, move forward on the things you want. And so that's something I would encourage anyone. And the good thing is there's a lot of readily accessible data in this field, opens and clicks, and conversions from those, and unsubscribes, and, read rates. There's a lot there that without too much trouble, if you're curious and, have the right mindset, that you can build some really interesting insights from.
As an engineer, I totally relate with that. And then from your position as a leader in the space, combining good verbal and written communication backed with data, regardless of whether we agree or disagree, you have to respect the work that was done behind the scenes.
Exactly.
James, thank you so much for your time. I have learned a lot. I hope people watching this video have learned. And last but not least, for everyone watching, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. It's really important to spread this video to people that are unaware and interested in CRM. And James did a great job in describing that. James, I hope you have a great evening, and thank you again for your time.
Thank you
Thank you
so
so
much.
much.